Every era of basketball has one shot that defines it, one move that every kid copies, one skill every superstar masters. But what if I told you the most important shot in basketball didn't fade away? It was slowly erased? I want to show you two pictures. The first one is an NBA shot chart from 2004. Look at it. Dots everywhere. Layups, threes, and a thick crowded band of shots in between. 15 feet, 18 feet, the elbow, the baseline. That band was the heartbeat of basketball. Now here's the second picture. Same league. 20 years later. The middle is empty. Like someone took an eraser to the court. The mid-range jumper was, for half a century, the most common shot in basketball. Michael Jordan built 6 championships on it. Kobe Bryant turned it into an art form. And then, in barely a decade, it almost completely disappeared. This is a murder mystery. The victim is a shot. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly who killed it, because there wasn't just one suspect, there were 4. Part 1, the Golden Age. To understand the murder, you have to understand what was lost. From the 1980s through the 2000s, the mid-range jumper wasn't just a shot. It was the shot. It was how you measured greatness. Jordan's fadeaway from the post, Kobe's pull-up from the elbow, Dirk Nowitzki's one-legged flamingo, Tim Duncan's bank shot so reliable they called him the big fundamental. The logic of that era made sense. Defenses packed the paint, hand-checking was legal, and getting to the rim meant absorbing punishment. The mid-range was the compromise, close enough to be makeable, far enough to get the shot off. In the 2003-04 season, NBA teams took roughly a third of their shots from the mid-range. It was the largest single category of shot in the sport. 20 years later, that number had collapsed to around 1 in 10, and for some teams, far lower. Shots don't just vanish on their own. Something happened. So let's meet the suspects. Part 2, suspect number 1, the mathematicians. Our first suspect works in an office, not on a court. In the mid-2000s, a new kind of executive entered the NBA, people who came from finance and computer science, not from playing careers. The most famous was Daryl Morey, who became general manager of the Houston Rockets in 2007. Morey's crew asked a question so simple it was almost offensive. What is each shot actually worth? The answer was devastating for the mid-range. A long two-pointer hit at 40% produces 0.8 points per attempt. A three-pointer hit at 36% produces 1.08. A shot at the rim produces 1.3. The mid-range jumper was nearly as hard as a 3 for a third less reward. In expected value terms, it was the worst real estate on the entire court. Houston rebuilt everything around this idea, a style the media nicknamed Morey Ball. Threes, layups, free throws, nothing in between. By the 2017-18 season, the Rockets had pushed it to its logical extreme. They took the fewest mid-range shots in the league by a massive margin, treating the long two like a shot clock emergency and nothing more, and won 65 games doing it. And here's the thing about success in the NBA, it gets photocopied. Within 5 years, every front office had an analytics department, and every analytics department was saying the same thing. Stop shooting long twos. So, case closed? The nerds did it? Not so fast. Because the math had been true since 1979. The three-point line always paid more. Something else had to change to make the math usable. Part 3, suspect number 2, the rulebook. Our second suspect is the league itself. In 2004, the NBA banned hand-checking. Defenders could no longer put their hands on a ball handler on the perimeter. A few years earlier, it had introduced the defensive 3-second rule, which made it illegal for big men to just camp in the paint. Think about what those two changes did together. Guards could now blow past defenders who weren't allowed to touch them into a paint that wasn't allowed to be permanently guarded. Suddenly, the two best shots in basketball, the rim and the three, became easier to get. The mid-range had always been the compromise shot, the price you paid because the good stuff was walled off. The rulebook tore the walls down. The mid-range didn't get worse. Everything around it got better. Part 4. Suspect number 3, the defenses. Here's where the mystery gets strange, because our third suspect didn't attack the mid-range at all. They offered it. Once defenses absorb the same math as the offenses, they redesign themselves around one principle: protect the rim, run shooters off the three-point line, and happily concede the space in between. Drop coverage, the scheme where the big man sags into the paint, practically hands the offense a free 15-footer on the bet that a free 15-footer is a win for the defense. Read that again. The modern NBA defense treats giving up the mid-range as a victory condition, and this is the cruelest part of the story. The shot didn't die because it was forbidden. It died because it was permitted. When your opponent is actively steering you toward a shot, that's the strongest possible evidence you shouldn't take it. The mid-range became the shot defenses wanted you to take, which meant self-respecting offenses refused to take it. The victim wasn't stabbed, it was starved. Part 5. Suspect number 4. The kids. The final suspect is a generation. A 12-year-old watching basketball in 2016 wasn't studying Kobe's footwork on the baseline. He was watching Stephen Curry pull up from 30 feet and jog back smiling. Curry didn't just win MVPs, he rewrote what young players practiced. Youth coaches, trainers, and development programs followed the league. Shooting drills moved behind the arc. College offenses copied NBA spacing. By the time today's draft picks arrive, many of them have taken fewer mid-range jumpers in their entire lives than Jordan took in a season. This is how a shot truly dies, not when professionals stop taking it, but when children stop learning it. Part 6. The survivors. And yet, walk into a playoff game today and you'll see a ghost. DeMar DeRozan built all-star seasons almost entirely in the forbidden zone. Kevin Durant, maybe the most efficient scorer alive, lives at the elbow. Chris Paul, Devin Booker, Kawhi Leonard, in the biggest moments, they all go to the mid-range. Why? Because the playoffs break the math. Defenses tighten, the rim gets walled off, the three-point line gets chased, and the wide-open space is, once again, the middle. The mid-range survived as a luxury good, inefficient for the average player, priceless for the elite one who can hit it at 50%. The shot isn't extinct, it's exclusive. Outro, the verdict. So, who killed the mid-range jumper? The mathematicians proved it was a bad deal. The rulebook made the good deals easier to get. The defenses started giving it away for free, and the kids stopped learning it altogether. 4 suspects, 4 confessions, no single killer. The truth is, the mid-range jumper wasn't murdered at all. It was outcompeted, a species that thrived in one environment, wiped out when the environment changed. But evolution doesn't stop. Defenses are now built to concede open threes, shooters are getting better every year, and somewhere in an analytics office, someone is running the numbers and noticing that a wide-open 15-footer against a modern defense is starting to look undervalued. The mid-range died because everyone zigged, which means the next great advantage might belong to whoever dares to zag. Beat. If you want to see the other side of this story, why defenses decided that handing out open threes is actually genius, that video is on your screen right now.